Hi everyone, my name is Haley. This is Data Girl Makes. Today I want to talk to you about some of the making that I've gotten done over the past couple of months. So we have knitting, no crocheting this time, but we do have a cross stitch and it's finished, like a fully finished cross stitch project. So that's like very shocking, not only to you, I'm sure, but also to me. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I think last time we talked was in December before I wrapped up all of my Christmas gifts for the year. And we have done, think of 2 or 3 finished objects since then. And I will try to put pictures of those up because those have already been gifted. And we have a few works in progress also to talk about today. So let's go ahead and get started. I believe last time we talked, I was in process of making my Scrapvent socks. I'll put all of the patterns and all of the yarn I will put up here, I believe. And then any pictures that I have of these finished objects. I'm not super into showing like my dirty socks that I finished like weeks ago that I've worn a bunch. So I will just be putting like the new pictures of them up here. So these Scrapvent socks are done. I got those done the first week of January. I went and did this skein every single day during the month of December when I was opening up my advent calendar. And then as soon as I was finished with that first sock, I just started on the second sock and got rolling and finished it in, I think on the 4th or the 7th or something. I'm having it on my Ravelry page, so I'll put it up in the corner. And this is what they look like. I love them. They turned out so durable and like the nicest, warm, cozy socks. I did end up doing reverse color order on the second sock. I was mostly just kind of interested in how the colors would look if they were, instead of the yellow being at the top, the yellow being at the bottom. And I really love both of them equally, and I'm happy that I did that. I think it makes them a lot more fun while still like they're still the same yarns. Like, and from the back, like when I'm wearing them in shoes, like I wear a pair of like kind of fake Birkenstocks. From the back, the colors are like you can see the same colors together, so you know that they're not mismatched socks. So I do wear those even to work, and no one said anything to me yet, so I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, really happy with those. I really like that pattern. I've actually decided to do that heel flap method from now on. I just kind of think it's cute. I don't know. I don't think it's better, but I do think it's like more fun, maybe the honeycomb heel method versus just like the regular slip stitch heel flap. The only difference is you're offsetting. So instead of it being like slip stitch, you're doing slip stitch, and then a knit in between. So like, it's not different a lot. I do the garter on the side now though, instead of the slip stitches. And I like that also. I don't know why, I just think it's cuter, more interesting maybe. So that was actually really fun to start doing. So yeah, love those socks. I wear them every time that they're clean. I think they're actually dirty right now because I just wore them this past week, and I love them. I will probably be buying more in that base and making a bunch, and they have held up super well, especially compared to my Bamboo Pop sock. I hate to say it, I love Bamboo Pop sock, but the yarn is just not durable. So this base, the vegan yarn base, it's like one of the few sock yarns that I can actually use that doesn't hurt me, and it is like holding up really well. So I'm very pleased with how these turned out. The next thing that I knit was a pair of gloves for my husband. He asked for a pair of convertible gloves, so ones where you can take the little flap off and then expose your fingers and you can put the little flap on. I have like a button right here. I'm okay showing these, but I think he has them in his car right now, so I don't have them with me, but I will put a picture up of the gloves. They are so cute. I love them. The colors are like fun primary race car colors, which is very precious and I love them. He let me pick the like the yarn base, but I let him pick between the colors. He wanted them very like tightly woven, so I used like my US 0 or whatever. I had looked at a few patterns for convertible gloves, and I just wasn't seeing any that were like exactly what I wanted. I ended up using, I'll put it up at the top, the pattern that I ended up using, and I used the idea of the pattern, but basically they're made to measure. Like I had this man trying it on, like, oh, okay, we're gonna keep trying on the wrist cuff until it's the exact right length for you. We're gonna keep trying on the hand part increases until, because his hand is like really, really wide through here. And also one of his hands is like 3/4 of an inch wider in this part than his other hand. So I had to make to measure both of them separately. So he's got like pristinely tailored gloves now. So we started from the wrist, went all the way up, increased, like did the little gusset part, put these on hold, and then went up, kept having him try it on until they were sitting at the right point on his fingers for him to be able to like open and close it without it bothering him. Did some ribbing, and then I made the little flap and then the thumb, and I did that for both of them. But he had to try these gloves probably like 500 times. I don't know why his proportions are crazy. If you remember when I knit him his sweater last year, I was having this man try on this sweater like several times a night because I had to do so much make to measure. But it turned out really well. He loves them. They are so cute. I'm super happy with my like Frankenstein pattern based on this other pattern. I did not use any of the stitch counts or any of the measurements. I basically just used like the general construction of the gloves and like kind of use that as a guide for like step by step how to do it, and then made it my own from there. So I'll credit the pattern, but I can't vouch for like anything in it. I think I used a completely different yarn weight even and needle size than they asked for. So yeah, it was super fun, a super like very similar to socks, but like a little bit more involved, but not bad at all. So I probably will make another pair, maybe next year, maybe with a more durable base, because I'm sure, knowing that man, he's always outside working in the yard. He's gonna wear some holes through these gloves. So maybe I'll just make him like an annual birthday pair of gloves and get better and better as time goes on. So that was the first thing I made. I finished those in late January, and I immediately started looking for a cross stitch pattern. We had gone into an antique store and I saw a beautiful sampler in real life. It was like an antique, and I was looking at it and I was like, I need this in my house right now. But it was $180, and I was like, I can do this. If y'all remember from last year, a dog had eaten my cross stitch and it was not salvageable. And I was very devastated, and I put it away, and it will probably never see the light of day again. But I do enjoy cross stitch, not as much as I enjoy knitting, but I do enjoy it every now and again, especially when I have something I really want, like the end product of. Like, I don't enjoy the process as much, but I enjoy the end product a lot. Especially the kind that's like old looking, like it looks like a grandmother made it, and it's like just in somebody's old house, been there for like 100 years. Like I love it. So I wanted to put, there's a wall right behind you that is completely empty in between two windows, and I wanted to put something together where I could like maybe 1 or 2 frames with my cross stitch in them, that look kind of like primitive and very cool, to match some of our like old, like this is a super old map, and it's like wood in our fireplace, like a bunch of like hunks of wood, and it's all just kind of like, I don't know, prairie adjacent, like old tiny type style. And I was looking through 123 Stitch, which is a cross stitch website that you can order like patterns and thread and fabric and all of this stuff from. So I was on there, and they have so many patterns. They have like thousands and thousands of patterns. So I had gone through and saved probably 20 patterns and sent them to my husband and said, hey, which ones would you be okay looking at for potentially the rest of your life? Because I will indeed be putting this up and then never taking it down once I get it framed. And he picked between two of them. One of them was a sunflower hotel or inn. Like it was like an inn house with like sunflowers. If I have a picture, I'll put it here. It's really adorable. And that one might still make the wall. But the one that he picked is this one. So this is my finished Plant Kindness sampler, maybe, just like, it's cross stitch. It is a cross stitch pattern that I completed. I don't really know exactly what style this would be called. But my husband loves to be out in the garden. He loves to plant things, and we have crows that sometimes come in our yard, and we love hanging out with them. And these colors are very much like my colors, like kind of muted pinks and greens, like super pretty. I'll put up what the pattern actually looks like, and you'll be like, that's not exactly the same. So in the pattern here, instead of a mattock, there is a pitchfork. And my husband said that I had to rechart it because you don't use a pitchfork for planting or something when he plants things. I'm sure there's use cases for it, but when he plants things, he uses a mattock to dig up the dirt, like to open up the earth enough for him to be able to scoop it with a shovel. So I free-handed a mattock to go with his little shovel, and I just made sure that it was the same length as the pitchfork that was originally there, and the same like width and everything. And I'm super happy with how this turned out. I have this on an Aida. I believe this is a 14 count Aida. And this is all the called for DMC in the pattern. I really love it. I think it's turned out so beautiful. It picks up really well on camera, but it's even more beautiful in real life. I believe this is like, I don't remember exactly what the colorway is for this. I'll put it up at the top, along with, I'm sure I've already put up the designer for the Plant Kindness pattern. Oh, another alteration that I made is the birds are black all the way around. In the original pattern, you're supposed to use this like brown color and give them little beaks, but I wanted them to be crows, so I used to use black for all of it. And I think it turned out really well. I just did this over maybe 2 weeks in February, just in the evening, or like when I was like in a meeting or something. Most of this was pretty like not that intense. Doing all of this greenery through here was a lot of counting and like having to figure out how far away things were. It was not nearly as intuitive as like, you know, this is literally just fill in, these are just lines, like all of this was really easy. So it was a good mixture of like super easy, mindless, and like I'm having to count and like be really present with my work. So I gotta get this framed up. It is kind of small. Like this is not going to take up very much room on my wall. So I'm trying to get like a really big frame for it. Like hopefully like a hefty wooden frame. But we need to go thrifting for that. And so we'll see when that happens. I think, then the last thing that I have finished is a pair of socks for my mom for her birthday. So her birthday dinner was the 16th. That was like our family dinner was the 16th of February. She told me on like the 12th or the 11th that she wanted another pair of socks. And I was like, ooh, that's gonna be late. Like, you're just not gonna get it. And then I was like, but if I made a pair of DK socks, which I've never made, I could potentially do it. I could potentially do like 4 days for a pair of socks. And I did it. I started as soon as she said what she wanted. I made them 20 rounds for the ankle. And then her measurements for her foot, I used the Crazy Sock Lady free pattern. She's a free DK pattern written. And I used the largest size, and I measured out for her foot length. And I had used a whole bunch of scraps yarn of Bamboo Pop Sock held double. So I used 3 or 4 different kinds. I had dyed some of my white blue to go along with some old blue that I had just in case I needed it. Marled it together with a striped blue and white yarn that I had used. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the colors that I used, because I don't have a picture of these socks. I literally finished them while we were in the car on the way to dinner. Like, I was kitchening up the toe while we were in the car. So I didn't get a picture of the finished socks, but I'll put a picture of the colors that I used that were mixed together. And they turned out so cute. And they were thick and like kind of luxurious. Like, they felt kind of like loungy, like comfy socks. Not so much like utilitarian, I'm gonna go out and, you know, hike in these. More just like house socks. So I hope she likes them. She was really excited to have them. She was so shocked that I was able to get them done so fast. And I'm also hoping I'm gonna have to follow up with her to see if they're holding up better, because I'm doubling up the Bamboo Pop Sock, and as I said, they have a little bit of delicateness to them where they wear through really quickly. So I'm thinking, like, if it's doubled up, is that going to affect anything? Not sure, because I might start making those myself. I got a bunch of Bamboo Pop Sock for Christmas. Like, my husband went crazy as he does, spoiling me, of course, for Christmas. So I have a bunch that I need to get through, and maybe if I can make some DK weight, use it up a little bit faster, that would be wonderful. So yeah, so I have those finished for my mother for her birthday. And I think that was all of the finished objects that I got to. Oh, my brother, if you watch my last video, you'll know that I have a Musselburgh hat that was on the needles in Totoro Speckle by Vegan Yarn, and I did finish that hat in time for his birthday. His birthday was the second week of February, and I also did not get a picture of these. I don't know why. I had a day where, like, I finished them and then his party wasn't until the next day, so I was like, I don't know why I didn't finish why I didn't get a picture of the finished object, but I didn't. I did get some pictures of him, like some blurry. So he played a show at his birthday party, and I got a picture of him in the hat singing in his show. So you could see that it exists, that it fits. But I got it all done. I was kind of frantic that last couple of days getting it done. But it was done, and it fits really well, and he really loves it. He was wearing it like the whole day, showing all of his friends. It was so cute. That was the last thing that I made, and that was a lovely Musselburgh, as always. Musselburgh, as always. Great pattern. Great way to use up a skein of yarn. I didn't finish up the whole skein. I have it here. I think I have just like a tiny bit, or this much left of the skein. So maybe a few grams, maybe 5-8 grams. This brings me to my works in progress, which as you can guess, I have a whole bunch of balls of yarn in this project bag. It was actually a gift from my sister-in-law for Christmas. I think she got it off Amazon. So I don't know exactly what it is, but they get everything off of Amazon. But I currently have all of my old advents from my socks, my Scrapvent socks. I rolled all of the leftovers up and put them in this bag because I am making a blanket. Actually, I have it here. I went into my local yarn store, shout out Center of the Yarniverse, and bought some ChowGoo double pointed needles in a size 2. Mostly because I can like use these for socks if I ever feel the desire to, but also because these sit in this project super well. This is going to be a long-term project, so I don't want to keep any of my good interchangeables on hold in just sitting in here. So having a whole bunch of like little DPNs is fine. But this is what we have so far. Oh geez, there we go. These are all currently scraps from my advent. As you can see, this I believe was the heel and the toe. No, not the heel, the cuff and the toe. So it's shorter than the strips that we have that were just used for a few stripes in the middle. And I'm just using them up. I'm literally going like starting with the beginning of the yarn and then going until I'm at the last row so that they still end on the same side. I'm not following like a specific tutorial or pattern. I haven't purchased anything, but I've seen a few places where people are doing like the jelly roll blanket, and I really like how that looks. So I was looking at that. There's also one by Pearl Soho that they have a similar type blanket that's like you're basically working in strips and then adding to the side, like picking up the stitches on the side and working from there. So this is kind of just like a pretty basic, I'm just making strips. I'm following the, it's a little convoluted. So Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady has instructions on how she does the edges and the grafting or the picking up of stitches for her jelly roll blanket, but I don't have the jelly roll blanket pattern. I'm just like kind of making it up and using some of her notes on how she's putting the sides together. I don't have any measurement exactly for how long I want this to be. I'm just gonna keep going until it's like maybe like another 2 or 3 feet, 3 feet, maybe 2 feet. And then just doing as many of these strips as I need to get like a basic blanket. I'm not going to be super stressed about this. This is just to use up all these scraps. And it's a nice kind of like mindless, like little project. It is getting a little bit long though, so I can't really bring this with me places like I could when it was really tiny. So this is now my my couch project. And then I have some other projects that I'm keeping in my purse. I have 24 scraps from my from my advent calendar that are in here. And I also have put in, as I said, this bamboo pop sock color and no, not bamboo pop sock, the vegan yarn base. This is not a sock base, this is just like a regular fingering weight base. And I have, I think that's it actually in here. I don't think I have anything else currently, but as I get like a ball of yarn, not just like a little tiny scrap, but like maybe a few grams, like maybe 3 to 10 grams, I will keep that and put this in the bag and then use that up. I was originally making like a wrap, like a crochet wrap with my scraps. I just don't really feel as passionate about that. I just don't crochet as much, I think. And so I'm a little bit more excited about, and I say garter stitch, like little blanket situation. It's like, it's gonna be so warm and swishy and nice. So yes, I'm excited about that. That is coming around the corner. This will probably be like, I don't know how many years of scraps and advent leftovers I'm going to need to make like a proper blanket out of this, but I'll keep going till then. I don't know what I'm gonna do like with a border or anything like that. All I'm doing is making strips at the moment. So I think it's cute. I like it. Currently on this nice blue color. And to pick the colors, I'm just doing it randomly. As you can kind of see, they're not really doing anything super cohesive at the moment. I'm just like closing my eyes and then picking up like whatever. Like this would be so annoying if I got this, because like, bruh. Some of the advent that I got, some of the colors were like super similar because it was supposed to be like a gradient. So there is a potential that I'm going to be like, okay, well, I'm picking again. We're not doing two identical colors next to each other. I'll do that much for color picking. But that is my not jelly roll, not official jelly roll blanket, my striped blanket that I've started. I've never made a blanket, which is kind of crazy. Like I've never made a blanket ever from anything. Like nope, I've never crocheted a blanket. I've never knit a blanket. So this is my first blanket. I like small things. So this is good, I think, because I won't be able to wear myself out too much since it's just like little balls of yarn that I'm working with. I'm not doing like a forever blanket. But yeah, that is that project I have going. I have one other project going. I usually like to have two. I have like a house project and then like a purse project, or one that like sometimes my purse project comes out of my purse. It becomes my house project if I really like it, such as my current one. So this is my purse project that is sitting on my couch at the moment because I have been really enjoying it. This is, okay, I know the colors are crazy. I know the colors are crazy, but hear me out. With the little ruffle, come on. With the little ruffle and all of these like girly little colors, like doesn't this just look like spring? This is a sock. This is a, again, this is just like a vanilla sock that I've kind of done things to. So this is a really great tutorial that I found by Googling how to add ruffles to socks. I didn't want to pay for another pattern just to use like, just to figure out how to do this part of it. So I Googled like how to add a ruffle to a sock, and there was a great tutorial. I can't link things in my description, but I can put the name of the creator and the video. It's from like 3 years ago. Has no music, has no talking, but I was like super impressed with it. Hers was on worsted weight or DK weight yarn maybe. And I'm using, of course, like fingering weight, but I took her idea, which was to do like 2.5, cast on 2.5 times your like initial cast on amount that you would use for regular socks, and cast that on. I worked twice as many rows as she did, and then did the decreases just as she did, to get down to my 64 stitches for my cuff. So that did this adorable little ruffle. And then if you wanted to do like this kind of thing where it's like this cute little ankle ruffle. So these are really precious, and these are for me. We actually have some really exciting news. We're expecting a daughter in June. So I'm planning on making me a pair, and then I'm going to make a little tiny baby pair for my daughter so we can have matching socks. So that's super exciting. That was like the only thing. I was looking at this cake of yarn. This is Bamboo Pop Sock Prairie, something like that, where it's like field something. Oh, we lost it. But we have all these colors, They're like greens and purples and pinks and like some sky blue. It's kind of crazy, especially from like back here. It looks a little nuts, but I think when you see it like with the baby socks and they're like, they just look like cute little girly baby springtime socks. I might do her little, I might give her some little mittens to go with it, because you know babies wear like little mittens to like keep them from scratching themselves. I might also, if I have enough yarn, which I should, I only did 20 rounds. I only did 20 rounds for the actual, 20 rounds for the cuff, 20 rounds for the leg. So I should have plenty of extra left over. My feet are not that big. For this one, so I did that cute little ruffle at the top before I went into just regular to 1x1. Is this 1x1? I guess, yeah, 1x1 rib. And then straight for the leg, I did the honeycomb garter stitch heel flap that we have in the Scrapvent socks. And then just like regular vanilla sock. I used the Crazy Sock Lady on Magic Loop pattern for vanilla socks. So with those modifications, like adding this and doing the different heel flap, but everything else I follow of hers. I'm getting to the point now where like I can almost do the heel flap and gusset without looking, but we're not quite there yet. So I always have that saved on my phone to pull up. So I'm going to keep working on this, and then I'm going to make the baby version, which I'm sure will take 5 minutes in comparison to like a fully grown adult person sock. I did find a Tin Can Knits free sock pattern that has newborn sizes in it. So I'm not going to use that pattern, but I'll put it up here. Like, it's free, and it has a whole bunch of measurements and like row counts and stuff. So I thought that was super useful. So I'll use those counts to cast on the right amount, first to do like the ruffle and then to do the regular little baby ankle. So yeah, that'll be fun. I'm super excited about that. I also have been looking at some baby mittens patterns. Some of them are free and like look super easy. So if I come into any of those, I'll be sure to let y'all know. My Ravelry has not been updated in a very long time. I just like could not. I was just so busy, and like I finished so many of my projects in such a hurry that I haven't had time. But I think for this one, I'm gonna go back and just start here and start updating it again, because this is like a really cute, unique pattern that I've like hodgepodge Frankenstein together, and I might want to make it in the future, and it would be really useful for myself to have all of these counts and techniques all in one place. So I'll put that up there. If there's anything that I have mentioned that you're curious about, feel free to write me a comment. I'm also on Ravelry. Put that up here. Otherwise, I'm not sure. I am pregnant at the moment and is really busy with school. I'm in my final semester of school. Hopefully the baby waits until after graduation to come, but super busy over here. And we are, but we're doing really good. We're having a lovely time, trying our best to make it through this season of life. Yeah, so I will probably be back. I'll try to do maybe April. I'll try to film a little something in April. Maybe once I get my socks done and like my little baby socks done, and just do like baby sock showdown. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful beginning of your spring. I hope that all of the flowers are starting to bloom and they look so pretty, and you're able to get lots of fun, happy making done, whether you're pulling all of your stuff from the winter and finishing it up or starting on your summer stuff. I'm doing a bit of both. So just like have a lovely spring. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Talk to you later.